10:30. This is my little fatty coffee. I usually have this between like 10 and 11. And it's basically a cup of organic, hey, what's up, Vicky? I worked out this morning. I actually thought about you. I was wondering how you were doing. It's organic, what do they call it? Fair trade. Because apparently there's a lot of slavery in coffee making. So this is like slave free. I really like it. I never drank coffee until I started this whole like kind of intermittent fasting thing. So I've been drinking it now about a year, and I really like it. And it's like from Trader Joe's, and then I put basically like a tablespoon of organic heavy cream and a tablespoon of organic half and half. I think it comes out to about 164 calories. No carbs, no protein, just I think it's just pure fat, or it's very close to pure fat. So I'll drink this. Try to extend. I'm feeling good right now. I don't know what time. I log everything. There's my logs. So it's got the day, the date, if I weighed in, what my weigh-in is, how long I fasted, my calories for the day, what time I stopped eating, and what my workout was. So yesterday was Wednesday, May 3rd. I weighed in at 180.2 pounds. I'd fasted for 20 hours. I ate 1,734 calories. I stopped eating at 6 p.m. and I boxed in the morning at Tidal for 60 minutes, fasted. Hey, what's up, Beth? Shannon. Yeah, the Bulletproof coffee, first of all, it's too many calories, especially when you're trying to eat in a caloric deficit. You end up like just getting yourself screwed up. The true Bulletproof coffee right off of Asprey's, off of his site it's like 600 calories, and they call it Bulletproof fat. That's too much for me. That's too much because let's put it this way: Monday I had 1,365 calories. Tuesday I had 1,378 calories. Yesterday I had 7. If I'm eating. Hey, hang in there, Liz. We're going online with Chris Kruger tonight. If you log in, you can check him out. He's a good guy, and I want to do another show with you. Like, we got to talk about it. We got to figure out what the game is. See if we can get Andrea Jengle on. That would be cool. But the Bulletproof coffee was just too many calories, and I'm not really, I'm really more of a student of John Kiefer, and he's like a physicist guy that is all into this stuff, and he's written a few books, and he's a really, really, really smart guy, and he's like, well, first of all, he says the fat is better in heavy cream than it is in butter, because he says that the churning of the butter damages the fat globules or whatever. And he says, second of all, he says, unless you're like a really extreme athlete, like MMA, bodybuilding, heavy crossfitting, you should not be taking a lot of MCT oil. It's there's that, whatever it is, it's like, see, I've been so far away I can't remember the terms, but there's like the 8, the number, there's an 8, a glute 8, some 8 inside of the MCT oil that is, it's toxic to the body if you don't burn it off. And the thing is that in Dave Asprey's Brain Octane, which is his like super hyper jacked up MCT oil that he touts, he got this idea originally from John Kiefer, but he kind of tweaked it, and I don't know, but he boosts up the 8, whatever it is. I don't know what it's called, but it's some sort of an 8 or something. some sort of something 8. But this chemical or this compound or nutrient or whatever is, it's you got to be careful with it. So, I was just doing, I never did the Brain Octane. I just bought the regular MCT oil at the vitamin shop, and I did the Kerrygold. And one day, I was just like watching one of his podcasts, and he was just like, you guys got to be careful with this stuff, man. And I went and got some heavy cream at Trader Joe's, like the organic, and I put that in instead, and I was like, wow, not only is it like, I guess, good or better, it tastes better. The butter's like, it's cool, but this is better. Then what I did was, I was doing like 3 tablespoons of heavy cream, which is like another 400 calories, whatever it was. It was still too much. And then my wife does half and half, which is half. It's a lot less. So I made one with my wife's, and I was like, I don't really like it. But then what I did was I put 1 tablespoon of fat of the cream, 1 tablespoon of the half and half, and I blended it up, and I liked it. And I was like, this is I like. And it's 164 calories, and I've got lines on the backside that shows me exactly where to pour the heavy cream and everything too. And it's 164 calories. So if lunchtime comes along and I just want to keep going with my fast, I can have another one, and it's like 350 calories, whatever. It's 320 calories. It's not that big a deal. Because if you do 2 bulletproofs, that's 1,200 calories. I mean, for me in a caloric deficit, that's pretty much it for me. I can eat a little bit more. But, yeah, I'm glad man, Beth Narvaz, she's the bomb. Vicky's on here. Vicky's in the trip with us. She's a health weight law. She's like going to Hotbox, and now she's training with Haven Nutt, who's a trainer at Hotbox, who's a friend of all of ours, and that's a great place. That's where I lost half my weight due to scheduling. I had to get rid of it, but I saw Hannah at church the other day. It was so good. She looks so good. She looks younger. I don't know. She like leaned out. She's all tan. I was like, geez, look at you. You look like a model. She says she's leaving, moving to Illinois, quitting Hotbox. What's Hotbox going to be like without Hannah? But you guys should connect, Vicky. You should connect with Elizabeth. Elizabeth is a badass. I'm not kidding you. She's lost like 75 pounds, and she turned her whole life around, and she looks like a goddess now. And she's a personal trainer and does all that. And she's got married with 2 kids, and she's the real McCoy, man. We love us some Elizabeth Narvaz. And her company is Valkyrie. No, just kidding. It's Valkyrie. So you got to go spell check that. Go to ValkyrieTraining.com. Valkyrie. VALKYRE? I don't know. I'm not, I would be more in a spelling contest or spelling bee. I'd be like, okay, there it goes. VALKR. Valkyrie. Right. VALKYRIE. I think I don't think I did the I. Anyway, we believe in Elizabeth Narvaz. She's going to help people. Not just women. I mean, she'll obviously be able to help women. Homegirl called me. Well, she loves you, Heather. Oh, man. Takes one to know one, man. It's like you got to be an out-of-shape fat ass sometimes to help other out-of-shape fat asses. I think it really helps sometimes, Anyway. Yeah, so this is my little morning ritual, which, some people will tout, well, it's technically not fasting anymore because there are calories. Yeah, she called me the other day. Boy, she said that our little talk on that Facebook Live helped her, really sparked her, to get some things going on, get some help. So, I mean, that's what this is about, if we can help people. Being fat, sick, and depressed sucks. Right? But, yeah, so some people will say, well, 164 calories of fat, isn't technically fasting, and that's fine. I don't care. It's working, and I like it, and it helps me. I got this started with when I was sorry about that. This dude's gonna call in 50 times. He's got a voice lesson. I'm not sure if he's coming now or in an hour because our schedules. Yeah, he's gonna probably call me back 50 times. There's Boaster Toaster. But yeah, some people. Oh yeah, the ketogenic kind of got me into the whole. I found bulletproof coffee, but the way I look at it is. I'm not dogmatic or a Nazi about anything. I've just found what works for me and I like it. Yeah, I think that the thing with it is like, if there's no sugar in it and there's no protein in it, and it starts upping ketone production, which gives me that heightened awareness and that will to do this. I think it's all good, man. And it helps. I lose weight. So usually I'll do one of these maybe around 10:30. I try to push it to 10:30, 11. Some days it's just depending on, the kids in the morning and working out. It's like it comes earlier. Sometimes I can go longer. Sometimes I do a second one. Sometimes I do, because me and Liz know each other because of Kino Body. I do the Grego Gallagher hack, which is I'll do the coffee. And then around like noon or 1, when I'm like, all right, Graylin's kicking in, I'm ready to, eat somebody's elbow. I'll do the apple, which in a sense, what he talks about is it kind of keeps you in a pseudo fasted state, which meaning the structure of the apple is really not very complex and it just kind of gets into your system. And the sugar that goes into the system is fructose. So it goes straight into your liver. See, you're doing the coffee and protein powder. I want to try that. I have not tried that yet. I'm going to try. Maybe our next show I'll make one. So what do you just do kind of like a... Oh, right. So yeah. I'm gonna start doing that. I'm gonna try that. I've got more protein powders than what to shake at. But that. But then I do the Grego Gallagher thing, which is like around maybe like 12:31, 1:30. Sometimes I can go. It depends on the day. Depends on how long I fasted, how hard I worked out, just kind of how I feel. Yeah, chocolate whey with that sounds good. That sounds like some sort of bizarre coffee malt. But and that's part of a lot of the bulletproof people do that too. Eliminates the creamer. Yeah, but the thing is, like for me, like in the morning, the fasted state, I'd rather have the creamer for me than the protein, because the protein is going to go into the liver and gluconeogenesis, and it's going to start being sugar, and then my day is over. I don't know. It doesn't matter. I mean, what's working for you? I mean, you look freaking awesome, so what do I know? I'll try it, though, because I'm willing to try anything. I'm a try anything kind of guy. But, yeah, I know, that's the whole thing with the morning fast is to stave off any sense of, that's the concept, is to stave off any protein or sugar, because in a sense protein and sugar are similar, because gluconeogenesis turns the protein into sugar. So that's why it keep the fat going, because it keeps you in a ketogenic state, which keeps you in a fat burning state. Also, I think that I'm not 100% on this, I'm learning as I go, but the fat only enables the body to do it enables the body to continue to do autophagy. Maybe that's why I'm stress eating. Yeah, man, I know that. Them kids driving you crazy. Boss driving you crazy. Work, money. What are they calling it? It's romance and finance. Yeah, man. That's the thing with this. And I follow a lot of people that have lost 50, 100, 200 pounds. Almost everybody still has their ups and downs. Yeah, I know you're out. You know, that it's not like, oh, you know, I got this concept or this meal plan or this, and now I'm perfect. I don't know. It is what it is. You know, we go through it, man. And if you have a couple days where you funk out and you do some chocolate, and me, I love kettle chips. I love kettle chips and chocolate. To me, it's like a speedball. I want sugar and soft with crunchy and salty. I want it all. And I can sit there and eat kettle chips and a Hershey's bar. And I'll shut my ringer off. Don't bother me. I got business to handle here. I got kettle chips, but I do the Greg Gallagher hack too, which is the pop chips, which are better. It gets a little bit of that, and they're lower calorie, and they're not cooked in trans fat oil from hell or whatever. Which I think the kettle chips I get are like the healthier. They're the Trader Joe's. I put a lot of hope and faith in Trader Joe's to do the right thing. You know, if they say it's good, then all right, I'll give it a shot. But yeah, so I get up, I'm fasted, I work out. I try to always work out before any coffee. I go right in my box or lift weights. And then I try to hold off my morning coffee. Sometimes like when I get in and I'm doing my bills and returning emails and checking this and that. The kids are in school. Wife's usually either at work or she's home. She works that night or she's off. Then I have that coffee maybe 10:30. Then around like lunchtime, and it's not perfect, it's not rigid. I try to do either a second cup of coffee, but it depends on how I feel, because sometimes the coffee makes me like a little funky. You know, I'm not really the best with caffeine all the time. Sometimes I make a second one and I drink half of it and pour it out, because I can feel when I'm done. And then sometimes like I'll be teaching in the back, I'm voice coach, and I'll be like, oh, take 1 second break. I run in and I just have like a hard-boiled egg, because I know like, it's like when I get to that point where it's like eat, and it gets to that place, if I don't eat, I get like funky. So at that point, it's like, all right, I'm going to get a handful of cashews. And I try in theory to keep it ketogenic, high fat, lower protein, super low carbs, like hard-boiled eggs, a slice of cheese, chicken breast or steak, whatever's kind of in the thing, cooked, that's already in the or a handful of cashews. Though for me, nuts and losing weight do not go together. It's very, very rarely are there ever nuts in the house anymore. Sometimes I'll buy a package of nuts, and if it's like 400 calories, because I just need, like, I want a nut, like that's it. I'll go to like 7-Eleven or gas station, I'll grab the nuts, I'll walk outside, and I will sit by the garbage can in front of the store. I will eat half the bag and throw it out. I can't be trusted with nuts. That is a very addictive food and a very addictive way of eating for me. That is old behavior that I don't care for. And in theory, if I don't care what they think, if it's paleo or this, there was at no point where anybody walked on this earth that they could eat like 500 cashews. Like it would take you 10 hours to open them. You'd probably burn as many calories thinking about it and doing it as you did eating it. Now you just open it up and it's like, and you shovel it in. I love nuts though, boy. I love Hershey's milk chocolate bars with nuts. Oh, but you know what's better for weight loss? Dark chocolate. Well, you know what? I hate dark chocolate. All the crazy stuff's coming out. Greg Gallagher eats freaking milk chocolate. I'm like, I mean, he's also a kid, so. But I also, so I do his other hack. A lot of times after my first cup of coffee, it's 11:30, 12. I'm feeling a little hungry. I'm getting a little like, I'm bonking maybe. And I have the apple. 80 calories. The sugar in the apple goes into the body as fructose, and most of it goes straight to the liver, which is good, because it reglycogenates the liver, which shuts off the ghrelin, which gets rid of the hunger, but also it doesn't go into the bloodstream as much as glucose or something. I don't know all the science, but it keeps you in a semi-fasted state. Like the body can still perform autophagy, and it can still be burning fat once you eat the apple. And then my goal is, 2 o'clock, 1 o'clock, I can't take it anymore. Like, I'll make it to easily 1 o'clock today. I feel fine. I say that in like 10 seconds, I'll be ordering a pizza. Just kidding. That won't happen. I'm in control of my destiny. But, so my first meal would be like, let's say 1 or 2. And in theory, I like to do the ketogenic, kind of like Nate Miyake talks about, the paleo lunch, which is like, I'll have cheese and, a piece of chicken or some I do hard-boiled eggs with Himalayan pink rock salt. 300-400 calories tops, 200-300 calories usually. And then I can be good for like a few hours, 3 or 4 hours, 3 hours. Sometimes like an hour or two later, I just get a second piece of cheese. And then like another hour or two later, then I throw down and I eat. And I eat what I want, kind of. It's, usually pretty healthy, steak and potatoes or rice and beans and chicken. And my wife will grill asparagus or, sometimes I go to, right here, Mitchell's Deli, and I get the roast beef sandwich and with kettle chips. And, I write in my calories, and then I have my big meal with my carbohydrates, which at this point now in the game, from John Kiefer's work, what he believes or what he's found or what is, I don't know. Who knows what the hell's true, right? In 6 months, they're going to realize everybody that, is doing paleo, you're going to lose one eye. But by the time I eat that big meal at 4 or 5 or 6, my fat cells now are insulin resistant and my muscular skeletal. Oh, I didn't talk. I talked to somebody else. Okay, yeah. So John Kiefer says that if you fast in the morning and you eat like a ketogenic lunch, like a low carb, no carb, lower, not heavy protein or fat lunch, by like the evening, your body has shifted from. Your fat cells have shifted to what's known as insulin resistant. It's like they're shutting off the acceptance of insulin, where the muscle cells, especially if you worked out earlier, are insulin resistant. They want to drink it up. So now you have your rice and black beans, or like I do the Grego Gal. I do a lot. I just do freaking Kino Body. I go to freaking Chipotle and I get the rice with the black beans and the steak or chicken and some cheese, a little of this. I'll get the chips and have a few of them or throw them out or not get the chips, drink just water. But I'll eat this thing with starch in it. Now that's going to bring my insulin up, which is going to want to drive things into the cell. And it's not just fat. I don't believe insulin's bad. I don't think that hormones are good or bad. They're as long as they're acting properly and you're not in a total depletion or saturation of them, I think they're fine. They're there for a reason. God made us a certain way. So the insulin drives fat into the body. It also drives nutrients. So, that's why when I did ketogenic, I just felt lousy. That's why when these keto people, you got to take all these supplements and all these minerals, because that stuff's not getting into your body, even if you eat it, because with your insulin just down all the time, it's like your car's on idle. You never like kicking it in. I like to, up and down, up and down. But at night, my fat cells are insulin resistant. So when the insulin is basically, people explain insulin like a key. It's the key that gets into the cell. So the insulin, this is supremely simplistic, but it grabs the fat and it goes to drive it into the fat cell, and the fat cell says, close for business for the day. And then it turns around and goes and puts it in the muscle, which is what you want, because then that's going to make you stronger, athletic, more limber. You're going to look better. You're going to be healthier. You're going to retain muscle. And then around 6 o'clock, I make the commitment, 7 o'clock, sometimes 8 o'clock, depends. That's it. Mouth shut. And I brush my teeth and I do mouthwash. And I write in my calories for the day and my stopping point. And that's it. Now that's perfect. And at 6 o'clock, I don't put anything in my mouth. I'm done, except water. Last night I got up at like 2 o'clock in the morning and had like 2 chocolate chip cookies. I woke up and I was insane. I don't know, I was just insane. And I had them. Not a big deal. Not the end of the world. I'm not trying to be perfect. You know what I mean? I'm trying to navigate through this thing called life and figure out how I can enjoy myself. Like I did ketogenic, and there was no way I was never going to eat pizza again. There was no way I was going to New York and not having a bagel. It's just not going to happen. You know, to thine own self be true. And if you could spend your entire life, I mean, I know people. There's that girl on YouTube, skinny Spanish girl, always with her showing the abs. There's Keto Mary on the keto sites, and she's awesome. Butter Bob, all these people, I mean, they're totally stoked, man. And these people eat 20 grams of carbs every single day, 365 days a year. I don't think any of them are into any kind of messing up. Butter Bob, maybe not. I don't know. But I think Mary's pretty much strict. The other girl, in one of her videos, says she hasn't gone above 20 grams of carbs in a single day in 5 years. I can't think of her name. I've chatted with her a little bit. Man, that's awesome. That also means you've never had a beer in 5 years or like ate a slice of pizza, which to me, that's not awesome. So we got to find something that worked for me. So for me, it's easier for me to be ketogenic during the day and then carb backload, the kefir thing. And it works. And I've lost almost 100 pounds. So who cares? It's not dogmatic though. Once in a while, I got clients in town and we go to, National Biscuit House and I'll have breakfast. A lot of times I'll have a really like eggs and bacon, and sometimes I go there and I get hash browns and bring it on, man. Biscuits and gravy. Bring on the crazy. But that's the whole concept of this, flexible dieting. And the whole thing is, I mean, to me, and this is super personal, and I don't say this to offend anybody. So if it offends you, I'm sorry. But, this whole warrior diet, Kino body, meet me out. It's all about becoming an alpha male and not being a punk anymore, because when you gain weight and, you get depressed, your posture, you don't feel virile, you don't feel like a man, like you feel like this kind of bleh. And to me, I can't be, I can't be what I can't. Elimination diets make me feel like a punk. People telling me what I can eat, what I can't eat, and all you can have is broccoli, and you gotta have chicken with nothing but the skin off, or you can only do this, or with paleo you can never have, a piece of cheese, or that just didn't empower me, for a better word, the modern stupid word that I hate, empower, but it really didn't. It was like, and I tried them all. I did vegan, I juiced, I did paleo, I done Whole30, I've done, ketogenic. It's like there's aspects of all of it I love, and that's where I'm at, and I found what works for me, and that works for me, and that may not work for somebody else, and that's where you got to be careful with like imposing your will on others, I started with a personal trainer today, and we had our little first consultation. She's very cool, man. I'm excited, and I just kind of told her flat out. I said, I'm kind of on this path with the food, and I just, because I know the personal trainer tip. I know the 80s bodybuilder. I know it. I grew up in the gym business. I used to be a trainer. I used to manage a health club. I'm never going to be happy or get success putting chicken and broccoli in Tupperware and eating every 2 hours. I will only become a fat slob because it won't work. Because if I just keep eating every 2 hours, at some point I'm going to be like, I can't look at broccoli anymore. I need Taco Bell. And then it's all over. So, to thine own self be true. Anyway, I really love you guys, man. This Facebook Live is helping me. I am probably going to break 100 pounds down within 2 weeks. I mean, now I'm dead balls on. I mean, there's no more messing around, man. And this is how I've done it. I've gone cyclical, I go hard for 6 to 9 weeks, and then I coast and maintain or put a couple pounds back for 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks, 5 weeks, and then I go hard again for another 6 or 8 or 10 weeks, and then I coast for a couple of weeks or a week, or sometimes it's just a few days. Last summer, I coasted for about 6 or 8 weeks. I think I put back about 4 or 5 pounds, and then I'm back at it. So that's the way it is, and that's the way a lot of people have lost it. It's not like this just steady descent. The other thing too with fat loss, I found for myself, just when I figure out the perfect thing that's totally working for me, it stops working. Though the flexible dieting, intermittent fasting seems to be, that's what I think is exciting to me, because it's like a switch. Once I turn it on, it works. And it kind of works forever. The only thing that ever gets in the way is if I just go too low calorically for an extended period of time, and that kind of makes it, that diffuses my growth or my shrinkage or whatever you want to call it. But the truth of the matter is, I'm not going to have to be in this mode for very much longer. I mean, this has been 21 months of being in a caloric deficit 5 to 6 days a week. That is a freaking journey in itself, especially when I was, almost 300 pounds, and I was probably eating 5,000 or 6,000 calories a day, and it was McDonald's and Burger King and Doritos and sodas and Taco Bell and freaking, I always want to say Skittles, but I don't like candy. But, hot dogs, and, it was mostly pizza, burgers, and burritos and that kind of stuff. That was my jam. Fried chicken. But now I'm going to go straight all the way down hard till 175. I'm going to weigh in at 175, and we've been talking about what my celebration 100-pound meal is. Sorry about that. I think my celebration meal is going to be a Philly cheesesteak sandwich, because I've been thinking about a Philly cheesesteak for probably 6 or 8 months. I went through that too. I was thinking about fried chicken forever, and I finally got some, and damn it, it was good. And I felt no regret. Zero. I had no emotional attachment to it. I just enjoyed the hell out of it, and when it was done, I went back to business as usual. And if anything, sometimes those big old crappy greasy meals help you to lose weight, because they just spike all your hormones back up and freak your body out, and then you drop your weight and go box, and your body's just like shoo. So there's a lot of hacks to this. I found out that certain hacks just really work. Energy cycling, not just carb cycling, which is kind of what I do. I mean, carb backloading. I try to eat ketogenic during the day. I'll do carbs at night, but also energy cycling. Monday, 1,400 calories. Tuesday, 1,500 calories. Wednesday, 13. Thursday, 17. Friday, 2,900 calories. Saturday, 1,600 calories. Because I can feel it now. I don't need anybody to tell me, or I don't have to read this out of a book. I know when it's time to eat. You can feel it. And then what you do is you satisfy your body all the way, like an apex predator would. When the lion gets the gazelle, he eats till he's done. He doesn't have a MyFitnessPal app and stressing, right? He's the lion. I do, but still, when there's those times where it's like, we're throwing down. A lot of times before I go out, I just put a guesstimate of what my calories are going to be for that experience, and I put it, and I write it down, and then I go out and have fun, and I don't stress it. I don't go through like the in and outs of it. It's like, let's say it's like 4:00. I'm at like 850 calories, and I'm like, honey, we're going to 5 Points Pizza. We're going to Uber, because I'm going to get a pepperoni and sausage pizza. I'm going to drink Modelo, and then we're going to walk next door to the Greek restaurant, the fried fish restaurant, and get their Boston cream pie. And then when I get done with that Boston cream pie, we're going to Uber home, and on the way back, we're going to hit the gas station, and we're going to get a couple of beers, and then we're going to come home, and we're going to get in bed, and we're going to have a few beers. And I know that that's going to be about 5,000 calories. So I just write it down ahead of time. App off, wheels down, let's go. So that's me. this thing, I hate this. Oh, that's how you get rid of it. Okay. But, for somebody that was as sick and unhealthy as me, 300 pounds, I would not maybe suggest doing that at first. You're going to have to pick your battles and go slow and be very regimented, and maybe, I don't know, start with, if you kind of suss out that you're eating 4,000 calories a day, try to cut it back to 3,200 calories and try to start walking in the morning and drinking more water, getting more sleep. Get yourself some melatonin, shut your freaking ringer off, shut your TV off, no freaking, no Instagram at 11 o'clock at night, and then that'll work. And you'll drop 10 pounds in like 2 or 3 weeks. And then it'll kind of not work so much. And then you go, okay, what am I going to do now? And that's what this is all about. Everything works for a while. And if you're big and fat like me, those first 20 or 30 pounds are kind of like a gift from the Lord above. The last 20 or 30, you're going to earn it, man. You're going to see how bad do you want this? How bad do you want this? So, I'm just so grateful. I am so grateful to you people. You guys have changed my life. People talk, there's a lot of reflection in my glasses. People talk a lot of negative stuff about, social media, Facebook, this and that, man. I think it's all how you look at it. And don't get me wrong, I've run into my share of butt heads, and I've had to block a few people and lose a few people along the way, but it is so outweighed with good. I mean, professionally, friend-wise, I've made so many friends in the real world from Facebook. They call me up, they're like, oh man, I saw that guitar thing, can I come over? And that following Christmas, they're here at Christmas, like they're my friend now. I met them through Facebook. So I think it's all what you put into it, and it's all your perception of it, and it's like, it's the secret, man. It's the law of attraction. If I'm looking for bad, I'm going to see bad. If I'm looking for good, I'm going to see good, and good's going to attract to me. So I'm grateful to you guys. You guys have helped me so much. You'll never know. You saved my life. I'm not kidding you. Lee Cherry's a good man too, man. He came to the studio. Hey, here's a guy we kind of met through, however, and now he was at the studio the other day. And he's a good guy. He made my James Lugo show intro. Let me see if I can fire it up. Which was very nice of him. Where is it? Is it on this computer? Yeah, right? You know what? It's like having 15,000 shows, man. You're always like, is it on this computer? I was ready.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the James Lugo Show. To view our show, subscribe to our YouTube channel at youtube.com/James Lugo. And now, here's your host, James Lugo.
All right, enough of that. Enough with my name. Isn't that great? And he gave me some stems, with like no music.
For everything, James Lugo.
So I can like make my own little thing. The only thing is, when I do my YouTube, my Google Hangout, you can't embed it. So I actually play it on my phone when I'm running it. It's goofy. I'm goofy. Whatever. Who knows? But Lee Cherry, out of the goodness of his heart, made that. He made that for me. He made that for his buddy Jimmy Lugo. We're running the show tonight. If you guys want to watch, I think it's 5 o'clock Pacific, 8 p.m. Eastern. We're going to be live on my YouTube, youtube.com// James Lugo. Subscribe and join. Get on tonight, 8 o'clock Eastern. Chris Kruger, one of my heroes, one of my mentors. This dude has helped me. I went to his house in LA. Here's a guy who became a real friend out of fake world, this cyber world. He's a beast though. He's at another level for me. He's a black belt. I'm a brown belt, and I'm probably never going to be a black belt because I don't aspire to that. I mean, he's just hardcore. He's full blown 1 meal a day. I'm more warrior diet keto body, which is 1 meal a day with a little under eating around it. That works for me. I don't know if I could just do 1 meal a day. I'd go insane. But he is hardcore. He's like a strength and conditioning coach. He went to like UCLA. Like, he's smart. He's got a heart for it. He brought himself. Hanging out with people that talk with Ebonics too much. He brought himself back from serious back injury and gaining like 50 pounds, and he's shredded to pieces. And he's all into like eating healthy and intermittent fasting. He calls it real fasting. So he'll be really a great host tonight, and I love him. Chris Kruger TSC. I don't know what that stands for. It's at chriskrugertsc.com. But anyway, get on there, guys. If anybody wants to get on, you can ask him questions. He's a beast. He's got a six-pack. You know, he's no joke. And he's an older guy. He's in his 30s. He's got kids, a wife. He's in LA. I think he was on a show, a TV show, like, not Iron Man. I can't remember what it was. It was some, like, thing where they run around in courses and lose weight, or I don't know what it was. Some freaking show. Gladiators. He was in the show Gladiators. Anyway, Chris Kruger. And he loves your buddy Jimmy Lugo, man. He's a freaking bro. He's a bro. He's a bro. And in life, you need bros. This was a good little fun one, man. I needed it. It also helps me to do these because then I don't eat. And I got my head on it, you know. I'm like, all right. And look at how slow I'm going. I've been drinking this coffee for like 30, 40 minutes. I started before I started this. Killed it. Guys should have seen me drink beer when I was a kid. Nobody touched me. It was like my esophagus was just a tube. We used to do these things when I was a kid called beer bongs, where we had a warehouse and then we had a loft above it, and the person would be in the loft above it, and they'd have a funnel with a hose that would go all the way down, you know, to where the person was standing, and the person on the bottom would kink off the hose. Then the person on top would fill the entire thing with a quart of Budweiser, an entire quart. And I was the grand champion of Pompano Beach, Florida. I could go like this and like in 3 seconds it was down. I never went or breathe. I just was like, then you'd be done, and your eyes would start watering, man. Alcohol and sugar would all hit you. You'd be like, yeah! I'd be like, yeah, man. Let's go wrap a car around a tree, man. Let's go do some lawn jobs. I was in the South, you know. Let's go kick somebody's ass, man. Let's go steal beer from 7-Eleven. Or worse. But those days are over. I'm all healed and healthy and normal now. All right, you crazy people. Jimmy Lugo, signing out.